When Warren Buffett was asked one of the most emotional questions at the 2025 Berkshire Hathaway Annual Meeting, if you had one more day with Charlie, what would you do? The room fell silent. And Buffett's response was both touching and deeply revealing of the friendship that defined his life.
Well, it's kind of interesting because, in effect, I did have one more day. I mean, it wasn't a full day or anything, but we always lived in a way where we were happy with what we were doing every day. I mean,
That opening line sets the tone. Buffett isn't talking about grief or regret. He's describing a partnership built on joy, purpose, and shared curiosity. He's saying they didn't need one more day because every day they shared already carried meaning.
Charlie liked learning. He liked, as I mentioned in the movie, he liked a wide variety of things. So he was much broader than I was. But I didn't have any great desire to be as broad as he was, and he didn't have any great desire to be as narrow as I. But we had a lot of fun doing anything.
This is classic Buffett, humble, humorous, and full of admiration. He paints Charlie Munger not just as a business partner, but as a man of immense curiosity, someone who found joy in learning about everything. Together, they weren't just chasing profits, they were exploring ideas, testing mistakes, growing wiser.
This you may find kind of interesting. We had as much fun, perhaps even more to some extent, with things that failed, because then we really had to work our way out of them. And in a sense, there's more fun having somebody that's your partner in digging your way out of a foxhole than there is just sitting there and watching.
That line says a lot about their mindset. For Buffett and Munger, failure wasn't an embarrassment, it was an adventure. They loved the process of solving problems together, even when things went wrong. It's a lesson for investors and for life that real partnership shines brightest when times get tough.
He really fooled me, though. He went to 99.9 years. I mean, if you had picked two guys, he publicly said he never did a day of exercise except where it was required when he was in the Army. So he never did a day of voluntary exercise.
Even in reflection, Buffett's humor shines through. He's grieving, but he's smiling, remembering Charlie exactly as he was, sharp, stubborn, and uniquely himself.
But we never had any doubts about the other person, period. And so if I'd had another day with him, we'd probably done the same thing we were doing the earlier days. But
It's beautiful. Buffett didn't want a dramatic last day. He just wanted another normal day, filled with the same learning, laughter, and friendship that defined decades of their lives.
And we wouldn't have wanted to know that we only had one day. There's a great advantage in not knowing where you're going to, what day you're going to die. And Charlie always said, that just tell me where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. Well,
That quote is pure Munger, witty, wise, and perfectly ironic. But Buffett uses it to highlight something deeper. Charlie lived fully because he didn't obsess over the end. He focused on learning, thinking, and living well each day.
the truth is, he went everywhere with his mind. And therefore, he was not only interested in the world at 99, but the world was interested in him.
That's one of the most powerful moments in Buffett's answer. Even at 99, Munger's curiosity made him magnetic. People like Elon Musk and others came to visit him, just to talk. The world wanted to learn from a man who never stopped learning himself.
lived his life the way he wanted to. And he got to say what he wanted to say. He, like I, loved having a podium. Again, I can't remember any time that he was mad at me or I was mad at him. It just didn't happen.
Imagine that. Over 60 years of partnership, without resentment, without ego. It wasn't just business chemistry. It was mutual respect at its purest form.
And we did keep learning, and we liked learning together. You know, we tended to be a little smarter because as the years went by, because we had mistakes and we had other things where we learned something, and the fact that he and I were on the same wavelength in that respect meant that the world was still a very interesting place to us when he got to be 99 and I got to be 93. So I don't have a perfect answer for you there, but I can tell you the ingredients that would go into.
Buffett's words remind us that curiosity is what keeps us young. Not age, not money, but the hunger to keep discovering new things.
Sometimes people would say to me or Charlie at one of these meetings, you know, if you have lunch with one person that lived over the last 2,000 or so years, you know, who would you want to have it with? Charlie says, I've already met all of them, you know.
Only Charlie Munger could give that answer. Because for him, reading was a form of meeting minds. He didn't need to dine with great thinkers. He read them.
But he said he really had no one else to meet because he'd read all their stuff and he liked Ben Franklin's stuff better than he liked mine. But
even in death, Charlie's curiosity lives on, and Buffett's love for his friend comes through in every line.
It's an interesting question. What you should probably ask yourself is that who do you feel that you'd want to start spending the last day of your life with, and then figure out a way to start meeting them or tomorrow, and meet them as often as you can. It's why wait till the last day? And don't bother with the others.
That's how Buffett ends his reflection, not with sorrow, but with wisdom. He's reminding all of us to cherish the people who make our lives richer and not to wait until the end to value them. Charlie Munger may be gone, but through Buffett's words, his spirit, his humor, his intellect, his friendship still speaks to the world. If this moment touched you, remember, real success isn't just about what you build, it's about who you build it with.